Deep in the jungles of northern Guatemala, there is an ancient city so massive and so remote that if it were anywhere else, it would probably be considered one of the greatest ancient wonders of the world. And yet, while places like the pyramids of Giza and the Roman Colosseum welcome millions of visitors per year, this ancient metropolis is seen by only a tiny fraction of that. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you may have already seen in the intro, once again we are going well off the beaten path to easily one of the most incredible ancient sites in the world. It is also by far the most remote and logistically challenging major site in Central America. You may have already heard about this place before, but the ancient site I am referring to is none other than the great Preclassic Maya city of El Mirador. Located deep within the rainforest of the Petén jungle in northern Guatemala, the city of El Mirador simply has no comparison. The sheer size and network of the broader metropolis that surrounded El Mirador covered 650 square miles. And obviously, the Maya did not possess the kinds of technology that we have today, making it even more impressive when you think about the kind of work that would have gone into its construction. Fortunately for us, we can still see many of the structures today, and I'm going to be bringing you all along with me to share a perspective that I don't think has really been done before in this manner. So hopefully you'll be just as amazed as I was when I first saw this place. But exploring the site was the easy part. Getting there is a bit more challenging. And as you will see in this video, El Mirador is not your average tourist destination. As impressive as it is when you actually see this place in person, there is still much more out there that is completely unexplored and unexcavated. And we still don't really know much about how any of it truly functioned. However, thanks to the technological advancements of the 21st century, we are now able to get a much better picture than ever before. And after everything we found, we can now confidently say that not only did we completely underestimate the Mayans, but we also drastically underestimated ancient America as a whole. As we get deeper into this video, you will come to understand that El Mirador was far greater than anyone thought possible. And because the vast majority of this city has still not been excavated, who knows just how much is still waiting to be uncovered.
Monkeys.
Where's 9-4?
That's your worst joke.
You guys are going to be on like the craziest vlog of all time.
Guess the monkeys will be.
Unlike most other ancient sites in the world, El Mirador is far from a normal tourist attraction, as I said before. Yet it is greater in scale and even significance than even places like Teotihuacan, Machu Picchu, or pretty much anything else you can think of in the Americas. It is extremely remote and attracts only around 100 visitors per month. If you compare that to other nearby tourist attractions such as Tikal, which gets around 25,000 visitors per month, and even Chichen Itza in the Yucatan, which gets around 250,000 visitors per month. And you can now understand just how remote this place truly is. All three of those cities were Maya strongholds at one point in time, yet the oldest, largest, and most impressive one hardly sees any visitors. In order to get to both El Mirador and Tikal, you first have to fly into Guatemala City. Then you will need to take another plane into the town of Flores. Once you arrive in Flores, getting to Tikal is actually quite simple. Flores is a fairly popular tourist destination, and there are numerous outfitters that will drive you right up to the main entrance of Tikal, which is only about an hour-and-a-half drive away. If you visit Tikal, you are basically guaranteed to find people there all throughout the day. However, unlike Tikal, getting to El Mirador is a bit more challenging. In order to get there, you will be required to get a guide, because it lies deep within a protected biosphere and independent hiking is not allowed for safety and preservation reasons. But anyways, once you've signed up, you're ready to start the journey. Every tour leaves from the cooperative headquarters in Flores. From there, it's about a 3-hour drive to start the trek, which leaves from a very small town called Carmelita, which by itself is already quite a ways away from civilization. And before we began our trek, some of the locals cooked us up a wonderful meal. And trust me, you are going to need that fuel because the first day is a bit of a wake-up call. We ended up trekking 19 kilometers directly into the heart of the Petén jungle to reach our first campsite. So if you thought this place feels remote now, you can only imagine what it was like even just a few decades ago. You get the picture. All right, guys, we just started the hike to El Mirador. 5-day trek to, I think it's the world's largest pyramid. The world's largest pyramid, or close to it. But first, before we go to the famous La Danta pyramid, that's what it is, La Danta, I think. We're gonna stop in a place called El Tintal, which is another super old cap city-esque connected to El Mirador. And we're gonna stay the night there. So.
They came on horseback.
Oh. The first campsite sits roughly halfway between where we started in Carmelita and El Mirador itself, but the halfway point is not exactly in the middle of nowhere. It's actually positioned inside another ancient Maya city, a massive one, I might add, and it's a city that almost nobody knows about. The name of the city is El Tintal. When you first arrive here, you really have no idea that you're standing in the middle of one of the largest ancient cities in the world for its time, and we haven't even arrived at El Mirador. There are obviously no signs and certainly no ticket booths. From the surface, it's literally just a jungle, but beneath the jungle lies something absolutely incredible. The city of El Tintal covers somewhere between 17 and 25 square kilometers of actual settlement area, and it has over 850 total documented structures, many of which still rise above the forest canopy. Just to put that into perspective, El Tintal is actually even greater in scale than Tikal, which I mentioned earlier. Those statistics are pretty wild to think about, but if you ever get the chance to visit here yourself, you would have absolutely no idea any of it was true. From the ground, it looks like absolutely nothing was ever here, until you actually start climbing some of the structures. The main pyramid or temple here is called El Enequén Pyramid, or sometimes known as El Pilón. And one of the most remarkable things about it is that on a clear day, if you climb to the top, you can actually see 3 different ancient Maya cities at the same time. Fortunately for you guys, once we arrived at the campsite, we were actually able to climb El Pilón. And once we did this, we were able to watch the sunset. And in this video, you will clearly be able to see El Mirador off in the distance, which of course is where we will be trekking the next day. I mean, they did some massive terrain shaping. Oh, this is a steep one.
Yeah, because this weapon was borrowed from Mexico.
Honestly, it's better if you don't hold the rope. The rope gets in the way.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Almost there. The trees are literally holding this mountain, this temple in place.
Take your time, right? Take your time.
Bro. Oh my God.
La Danta.
This is crazy. Where's La Danta? Oh yeah, oh that's far. We have to go all the way over there.
26 kilometers.
No.
Where the campsite is.
Yeah, we have to go all the way over there. See the bump? That's the big one. This is for B-roll, background footage, you know? Just like keep it on me.
2 o'clock.
That's so exactly. 2 o'clock. Precisely. We just had lunch.
Man, what a crazy first day. How many kilometers did we go?
19, I think.
19 kilometers. Tomorrow, we have to go 24. But we're going on the Mayan road.
Vegetation right behind. Those are what
Super cool, right?
And then we'll see this undulating.
Get ready for tomorrow.
Yeah. And a very clear.
Alright guys, it's 5 a.m. and we are about to begin our trek to El Mirador. It is super early.
So on the second day of the trek, the landscape does start to shift quite a bit. Up until this point, we had been walking on normal trails. But now, pretty much all the way from El Tintal to El Mirador, we will actually be walking on one of those ancient Maya roadway systems I mentioned before. Although much of the time it was difficult to know, there are numerous points during the trek where you can clearly see that we are not walking on natural formations. At one point in the very distant past, this would have been a massive superhighway. And we can now accurately claim that this was in fact the world's first multi-lane elevated highway network. Yo, so we are approaching some type of location. We've only been hiking for about 20 to 25 minutes maybe. Where are we?
And again, 24 kilometers. Yeah, now we made already 1.5. We got to sign the book, right? So your names will be here. You can check the book if some people from Belgium, right? So we check how many visitors we have every year. That's the way. Aquí estamos, mira. Por aquí. Sí.
We made it 1.5 kilometers. We have 24 to go, basically. We're chopped. These turkeys, bro. They're just everywhere. So strange. Dude, look at this turkey. This turkey. Dude, I think we're on the road now.
Yeah.
This is the road.
Yeah.
Yo, guys, we're on the road now. It's flat. I mean, obviously trees have grown, but at one point there would have been stone here. And it would have been this long 24-kilometer road the Mayans built. I mean, that's insane.
Oh, there's fruits, yeah.
There's oranges, naranjas. Asias? Oh man. Dude, the Mayans had it good. I think it's just gonna be like this for like the whole time, which would be kind of nice. We're not gonna arrive there for a while, so I'll just keep moving, I guess. Alright guys, so on our way, I don't know, we're maybe 10 kilometers in, but we found one of these. So you'll see these periodically. These are Mayan mounds, and the reason there are holes dug out is because the looters have come and taken things like a century ago. They came in and they steal everything. But guess what? They didn't find anything valuable. And the crazy part is that we haven't found anything valuable here either. Modern excavations, people, archaeologists, they haven't even found a tomb yet at this place. And it's massive. Haven't even found a body or a tomb, sorry, for like a king. But we're making progress. So, dude, we literally don't, there's no water. There's really no water, but like.
Well, that's because it's the dry season.
That's a good idea. It's a good point.
No, she's a clever girlie.
Very clever. Anyways, in a moment, we will be arriving at what is, in my opinion, the most impressive structure ever built in the Maya world, and even the most impressive ancient structure in all of the Americas. But just before, we took a quick pit stop at what is known as the La Muerta group. And for the first time on this trip, I finally got the chance to put on my real Indiana Jones hat and do some actual exploring. Here, take a look. That's another mound right there that the looters have come and dug out. Okay, wait, actually, this is the map. That's Flores, where we were staying. Then we drove all the way up here, all the way, keep going, all the way to here, Carmelita. And then we started the hike all the way there. And then all the way to the end. So the top is the border. You can see it says Mexico. So we're like almost at the border, to be honest. Very, very close. Yo guys, we're here. We're entering El Mirador. The camp. So close. There's another place where the looters were. Right over there. Yeah, dude, all these. Look at them. Oh, we get the first like actual construction we can see here coming up. And first construction scene at El Mirador. Oh shit! Shoot! Oh. Bro. Yeah. We can go inside, maybe. Y'all tell me what's in there. First temple. We're going inside. There's no room in here. Zero room in here. Bro. Bro, what? Dude, there's no room. Bro, I gotta go on my knees. Ah. Ah.
Por ahí hay murciélagos.
Ah.
Pero no hace nada.
Good night. Bro, what kind of bug is that? Mira. ¿Qué es eso?
Cucaracha.
It's a cockroach? Ah.
Mira aquí.
Horrible.
Párate.
Oh. Oh. Oh shit. ¿Qué es eso?
Araña.
¿Qué tipo?
Ambiplífida.
Ambiplífida. Yo, look at that. Bro, what is that? Oh, look at that.
Mire pues, don Lolo. Lolo es. ¿Cómo es su nombre de usted?
¿Qué pasó? Ay, mi hermano. ¿Qué pasó?
¿Cómo es su nombre?
Sí, Lolo.
Mire pues.
I am leaving.
Indiana Jones.
You did it.
I'm the real Indiana Jones now. Let's go. What?
Is it going? Yeah, it's going right now. Okay.
Yeah,
all
you
right.
just gotta look at it.
All right.
Make sure everything's ready. How do you... Here?
I think maybe around the front.
Get some of you. Go.
Hey.
Alright, 2.5 more kilometers to go.
How many?
2.5. Then, llegamos al campo. We arrive. And we rest, hopefully. So after 2 full days of walking deep into the jungle and already exploring so much of the ancient Maya world, we finally entered El Mirador. Since we were arriving fairly late, we set up camp at the local shelter they have there, which is actually located right at the base of one of the pyramids. But once again, you really have absolutely no idea where you actually are. It all seemed like a normal jungle from our perspective. Now, I'm about to hit you guys with the craziest fun fact of the day. So our camp is actually located on what used to be an old jungle airstrip that was constructed in 1962. The entire open area that is our camp was actually cut out in order for the earliest archaeologists to come see El Mirador by plane or helicopter. They had to do this because before the airstrip, the only way to get here was to hike up to 2 weeks one way all the way from the town of Flores. Mind you, this was long before they had any roads that actually led into the town of Carmelita. And since there weren't any trails, the first explorers of El Mirador had to hike through unmapped, dense jungle forest to even get there. El Mirador was first reported in 1885 by a Guatemalan engineer named Claudio Urrutia. He first stumbled upon the ruins when surveying the wilderness near the Mexican border. He noted seeing massive ruins wrapped in the forest, but because everything was completely buried under the dense jungle, he couldn't possibly grasp the true scale of the structures. Then in 1926, the site was officially reported, and in 1930, the Carnegie Institution sponsored exploratory flights over the unmapped Petén jungle. And from there, the rest is history. The main urban core of El Mirador is organized around 2 enormous pyramid complexes, El Tigre to the west and La Danta to the east. Between those 2 main complexes, at the city's peak around 100 BC, this was one of the largest urban centers on Earth. The population of the city itself is estimated somewhere between 150,000 and 250,000 people. And the broader metropolitan network across the entire basin could have easily reached closer to 750,000 or even 1 million people. Alright, so my camera's about to die, but we set up camp, and now I'm just kind of like exploring the area. I mean, there really is not much to this. It's actually simpler than the last one. About as basic as it gets. But the cool part is that tomorrow we get to actually explore El Mirador. Now tonight, in about an hour, we're gonna start heading to this other pyramid, El Tigre. And that we will climb to the top and get a nice view. Oh, but I'm gonna go relax and take a chill because we just hiked like 30 kilometers almost. Look at these turkeys, aren't they beautiful? Look how colorful they are. Look at how many there are. They just like hang out around the kitchen. Weird. Well. Oh, so apparently this is the temple. But like everything else we've seen, it's literally buried because the jungle eats it alive. But you can see some stones, some formations. Most of it is buried though. But we're gonna climb to the top and get a better view. And we should be able to see La Danta, which we are visiting tomorrow, from the top of this pyramid. What's not improving is my desire to hike or climb stairs. Ah.
¿Cuánto vamos a subir ahorita? ¿Aquí hay que subir? Sí, pero solo les voy a dar una pequeña.
El Tigre.
Garra de jaguar.
The belt, we have this Alnitak, Saif, and Regal. Quantics demonstrated that this is, you know, they have the same distance in between these 3 stars. It's the same on 3 sides.
Just to give you guys an idea, bro, this whole thing is, what do you say, 17 football fields? Square?
Yes.
Square football
the whole
fields?
basement.
The whole
140 meters from here to there, 145.
Oh my God.
Yeah?
And
can you imagine? And all of this was constructed. They did rise the whole platform, and then they built this, which it is Garra de Jaguar.
and that was the one we
The
saw.
other one tomorrow. We'll go
We'll
first
see.
there tomorrow, and then we see how the paus are flanking
Oh my
that
God.
staircase.
And that's not even the biggest one.
No,
That's crazy.
Not
We are
not even
still
the
going
biggest
to the
one.
biggest one.
This is insane.
That's
Like-
crazy.
wow,
can't
the
even-
Danta is much bigger than this.
Yeah.
Like everything we're standing on right now is rock. They built this whole base. Like imagine all this dirt was gone and it was pure stone, this whole thing. I mean, that's insane. And all that's left are the remnants. Thousands of years ago they built this. Over 2,000 years ago. Now we have to climb it.
Yeah.
Man, the Mayans really were something else. It's crazy. They thought it was a volcano. That's how big it is. That's how big it is.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Now that we've seen the map, you can understand better the layout of this place. So we came from not the ground, but the base. They constructed a whole base to build these temples on. Wow. There's the one, the middle one, and this one.
That you can see. But the condition, how it looks when it was found, you have it here, this one, the one to your left.
My gosh.
Let's just pull. Let's make a pack. Like all of our resources, all of our kids' resources, all of our grandkids' resources. We're gonna go right into this. We're gonna just uncover it all.
Yep. This whole complex is
The second.
the second, but it's a part of this whole area, El Mirador. The same area, same city. All this is stone underneath. The whole thing we just climbed up, it's this huge stone platform. I mean, it would have taken so much resources to build. And now we're just seeing the remnants of it. Yeah, let's go. Oh, here we are.
Oh yeah.
That's La Danta. Right over there.
Jeez.
All the way down there is not even the ground. It's like the base of the pyramid. The platform we saw. That's where we're going tomorrow.
When they started right from there.
I got my Jaguars
It
ready.
was the source of Fulin's.
Hope you got your monkey spray too. They don't like you.
One of these stationary rivers.
I'm gonna throw it.
Bro, so we just had a thought. Can you imagine carrying this stone, all these stones, all the way up here with no machines, just like put one on your back? I mean, how many times would you have to do that?
By May we'll have
1,000. We're gonna head back down now. So these are the areas that they're excavating right now. Right there and right here. You can see there's much larger stones on the bottom. But a lot of this has collapsed, so you like can't. Oh, here's a good view of the other pyramids. There's that one. And that temple. Is that a turkey? Bro, there's just a turkey on the temple. You can imagine they had to dig all the dirt that was in there out. They're not even done. I mean, it goes all the way around this whole thing. All the way around. I'll see you guys tomorrow, where we will be exploring the grand finale, La Danta. Peace. Yo guys, I know you can't see me, but we're hiking to the top of this pyramid. It's the next day, it's like 5 a.m. We're going to look at the sunrise. Sunrise, baby. All right guys, we're officially starting the day now. We made it back to the camp, had a little bit of rest, ate some food. It's like 8:30 in the morning, but everybody's feeling great. And we are now headed to La Danta Pyramid. We're on our way. For what felt like quite a long journey for 2 or 3 days of hiking, we finally made it to the coup de grace, La Danta. La Danta is the largest structure at El Mirador, and it is the reason this site should belong on anyone's bucket list. In order to climb the pyramid, we had to hike about half an hour, maybe a little bit more, to even arrive at the base. Once you've arrived at the base of the pyramid, you have to climb the first set of stairs. From this perspective, the whole thing just looks like a normal mountain. But if you take a look at the entrance, you will see that well beneath all of the dirt and all of the jungle, this was an actual structure many thousands of years ago. And it would have looked absolutely mind-boggling. So here we went climbing the first set of stairs just to reach the actual base platform of which the pyramid is built on. Then after that, we would need to walk another 10 or 15 minutes to reach the actual pyramid itself, which also has multiple layers and platforms. So basically right now, we walked up the steps, we're now on the base of the La Danta pyramid. So they carved out the land, unlike the previous spot, like our camp, where the base is made purely of stone. This is less stone, but they still carved the mountain. So that's why it's flat. But these are temples here. That's a temple back there that we walked past. And now this way is the official La Danta, the pyramid, which we are going to climb. We're so close to finishing this. We're reaching the end, I guess. And then we have to walk all the way back, but they literally made their own reservoirs because there were no rivers or lakes anywhere. So they had to collect the rain, and they would use cement and other materials. Yeah, so what Abel is saying is that this was covered in white cement to act as a layer so the water didn't seep into the ground. Because remember, this isn't stone. So they didn't make the base out of stone. Not this one. They carved the mountain and then they worked around it. But with this, yeah, they had white cement to keep the water from going anywhere. Really quite impressive. What do you think?
It is absolutely mind-boggling.
What's the coolest thing you've seen so far?
I think just the scale of this place. I mean, this whole thing that we're stepping on right now, that we're walking through, that looks like a forest, is a man-made structure.
Yeah.
It's been milled, it's been created, it's been molded, and meant to be sustainable. And there's no lakes around here, so they're all living off rainwater.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's wild.
Yeah.
But given that you're in a jungle, and I guess Abel was saying that back then the jungle was more dense.
Yeah.
So Maybe their access to rainwater was better
Yeah.
or something like
They
that.
probably just.
So here
Oh,
they made these other staircases, and then you add some more 176 steps to go up. Yeah, but this is no Maya, right? The original Mayans, you see the condition of them, badly eroded and so, yeah? And then it continues to there. They used to, below the tarpaulins there, the plastic, you can find masks, as we saw in the drawing.
so the numbers here are worth going through carefully because they're actually wild. La Danta stands 72 meters tall from the jungle floor to its summit. Its platform covers nearly 44 acres. In terms of total volume, La Danta contains around 2.8 million cubic meters of construction material. To put that into perspective, the Great Pyramid of Giza contains only about 2.4 million. That is not even an exaggeration. It holds the Guinness World Record for the largest Maya pyramid ever built, and it's the second largest pyramid in the world, only behind Cholula. Stay tuned for that one coming soon, by the way. La Danta was built around 300 BC by a civilization that didn't really have a whole lot to work with, at least nothing compared to what we have today. The labor estimates are almost impossible to comprehend. Researchers such as Dr. Richard Hansen, who is the lead archaeologist at El Mirador, have estimated that La Danta required somewhere around 15 million man-days of work. In other words, if 1,000 people worked 24 hours per day without stopping, it would still take over 40 years to complete. And the wild part about this is that that number only accounts for the actual construction. It doesn't even include the quarrying of the limestone, the production of the lime plaster, or the logistics of feeding and coordinating the workforce over that many decades. Obviously, this kind of labor doesn't ever happen without a stable and lasting political system. Archaeologists have debated exactly what kind of state El Mirador represented, but the structure you're looking at is evidence that whatever it was, it had the administrative capacity to organize tens of thousands of people across a constant multi-generational construction program. It truly is remarkable. It's difficult to imagine, and there is still so much more we just don't know. But regardless, it's without a doubt an incredible feat of engineering and organization. But anyways, moving on.
Vinieron para no ir a otros lados, se concentraron aquí, no salían de este lugar. Vivieron aquí.
There it is.
Hicieron casas.
There he is. Check him out.
Y ya le dieron otros usos a las pirámides. ¿Sí? Ya no era lo mismo, tan grande como fue. Es como vemos, Nueva York, como creció.
Oh, there it is. Oh.
Yeah, kind of.
Now we're going up. We thought we saw a toucan. Here we go. All the way to the top. Oh. Steep steps. Technically. Dude. Look at this. So simple. The whole thing. Almost there. One more step. We did it. Let's go. Look at that. Mirador. It's 1968. Oh. We were there.
Tigre.
Ayer.
Tigre.
That's El Tigre. We were there last night.
Monos. Mono izquierda. Templo de monos.
We've talked a lot about El Mirador and just how impressive it truly was. But there's one important part that we haven't gotten to yet that, in my opinion, ends up leaving you with far more questions than answers. So El Mirador reached its peak somewhere around 100 BC, and by roughly 150 to 300 AD, the great preclassic cities of the basin, such as El Mirador, El Tintal, and Nakbe, had, for some reason, been mysteriously abandoned. Within a few generations, one of the most powerful urban systems in ancient America essentially disappeared. But the question of why might have a more direct answer than you might expect, and the evidence for it is preserved in the geology of the basin itself. Although we don't know all of the details, a few things are fairly clear to us. Pollen cores taken from the lakes and swamps in the region show a dramatic collapse in tree pollen during the late Preclassic period, which leads some people to believe that this is clear evidence of deforestation. But here's where it gets strange. The plaster layers on the structures at El Mirador got thicker over time, not thinner. In the city's early construction phases, plaster coatings were about 5 centimeters thick. In the final phase, they were up to 50 centimeters thick. The production of lime plaster required burning enormous quantities of green wood, roughly 10 trees for every square meter of temple surface that was plastered. El Tigre's final plaster coat alone required around 1,200 acres of forest. And the rulers of El Mirador in their final years were applying plaster at a rate far greater than any previous generation. So the pattern is simple. The forest was dying, and the response of the people in power was to build more monuments. Please, somebody make that make sense. There's a quote from the lead archaeologist on this project, Richard Hansen, that captures this point fairly bluntly. Quote, "They didn't seem to care. They had their big cities being built. The commoners recognized the severity of the consequences." If we take his perspective seriously, it represents a fairly common dynamic. People making the decisions continued to extract resources for the purposes of maintaining power and prestige, while the system that supported everything unraveled around them. In other words, the city's most visible monuments could contain the physical evidence of its own destruction. It's a tour.
Yours, tour. Around?
Yo!
Around?
Yeah, it's a tour.
Come back.
They literally fly around this place and then come back. They literally already went the distance that we went in an entire day yesterday. That was like 5 seconds. That makes me so sad. Now, you would think that after a civilization completely abandons their home due to environmental problems, they would probably not be able to go back. Well, apparently not. Because a few centuries later, after the abandonment, people did come back. During the late Classic period, roughly 600 to 900 AD, there is archaeological evidence of reoccupation at El Mirador, including new ceramics and even some new construction. However, the new construction paints a brutal picture. The pre-classic builders had raised pyramids 55 to 72 meters tall, but the people who came back to reoccupy the land only built structures about 8 meters high. The forest had begun to come back, but the environmental damage from the pre-classic lime industry never healed, not even close. So the people who returned built what they could on top of what remained, and they revered the ancient structures enough not to build over them. But whatever had made El Mirador possible, whether it was the knowledge or institutions, was entirely gone. By around 900 AD, coinciding with the broader classic Maya collapse that swept across the lowlands, the basin was abandoned again, but this time it would be permanent. So for about 1,000 years, one of the greatest cities in ancient America ever produced just quietly became a jungle. And that is still largely all we can really see today, as evidenced by what I've shown you. So what they did was they destroyed a lot of trees. And there's no evidence to support that they were replanting anything. They weren't planting the seeds. Ironically, naturally, over 1,000 years, the trees grew back and on top of the structures that they built and destroyed the trees. Think about how crazy that is.
Right? At all, we are all humans, huh? As the kings were born in some other places there. But here, by the year 378, we know that when they arrived to Tikal, many things happened in Tikal. They established a new government there. But here,
there's a lot of pyramids here. The Mayans were busy people. The gap between what El Mirador actually was and how little attention it gets is maybe the most wild thing about this place. Most of it is still buried, still waiting to be discovered, and the jungle doesn't seem to be in any hurry to reveal any of it. But anyways, you guys, I really want to give a huge thank you to everybody that watches this video, supports the channel, and again, if you guys like these videos, let me know in the comments. I promise I really do listen to everybody. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.